Hey guys, it's Jolene from Smith's Nature Friendly Farms. I thought we would do a quick video on fall plantings. Alright, I'm hanging out in the garden today and we are doing some different fall plantings. So I thought I would show you guys what we're working on and some of the things that we have going for this fall. Alright, so one of the first things that we have going is cabbages. I absolutely love growing cabbages, especially because I get to share them with the chickens and the ducks, but also love eating them, so it's a fantastic one for us. Now, I have totally 100% cheated, and this is actually not cheating, but I have bought my seedlings from a greenhouse, and I do that sometimes for a couple of reasons. One is, in this case, we had an entire loss of our seedlings, so it was just faster and easier for me than starting them all over again to go to the nursery and get my seedlings from them. And sometimes I do it because you just want a stronger plant. Ideally, you'd be fantastic and amazing at growing all of your seedlings, but sometimes I find that because I'm not full-time on it, that they have a couple of dry days and they start to wilt a little bit, and they just don't have the same strength as a nursery where somebody is staffed and watching a plant every single day, and they have the exact science of what nutrients to put in their water and all that fun stuff. So you can get a pretty darn healthy plant from your nurseries. So when you're struggling to grow something, sometimes it doesn't hurt to start from a nursery versus your seeds. Now, from a market perspective, highest profit is obviously when you do it from seed. So typically I do mostly do it from seed, but there are occasions where, like this one, where I will get my plants from the nursery. We had an entire tray of 400 different seedlings, and they were on the porch a little bit up higher, and something came along through the night and ate them all. So we had to start over. So these are our cabbages, and we're excited about them because this is our first time growing cabbages in our new box. They have a shade cloth, and I left the shade cloth off yesterday because it was raining. I thought, yay, get lots of moisture on it. Even though some rain does come through the shade cloth, I wanted it all on the cabbages because it's still quite warm in Mississippi. And sure enough, something's come through and already eaten that guy. I would put a wager on my chicken. I have one chicken that no matter how hard I try, she escapes and gets into this garden. So it might be her. Now this is our first fall. We are using these tubs, and I love these tubs. So this is fantastic. These guys are also starts from the nursery, and they are off to a healthy start, and they're loving the tubs. So these are mustard greens. Now, I'm not a huge mustard green eater myself, but I do have some customers that like them. So in this patch, and along with a couple of other places within the garden, we are growing carrots. Carrots are one of my favorite things to grow. They are super, super easy to grow. The hardest part about growing carrots is actually the germination part, which is just all about making sure that you give them even and moist watering. So I just water the heck out of them for the first 2 weeks or so until you start to see them thrive, and then they're much more durable after that point. So these are a variety that are actually good for my area. When you're planting carrots, I do recommend getting varieties that are good for your soil type. So this specific carrot is Danvers 126. It's good for clay soils, which means that it'll be able to still form a nice carrot, even if you have dense soil. Now, this is not an overly dense soil, but it does get more dense as it grows down because this is a raised bed, but it still does really well for the south. Like, it's a recommended carrot variety for the south. So that's the one that we're growing. We'll also have some rainbow carrots, and I'm always a rebel, and I will always plant stuff that does not belong in my region, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Now, one of the things I love about growing in the south, I could not grow this in Canada, not unless it was inside or in a greenhouse, but this is our Satsuma tree, and it's in a pot. At some point, I think we'll plant it outside. Lots of people say Satsumas don't grow well outside in South Mississippi, but we have a friend that has one behind a building, and it's probably about 10, 15 years old, and it produces tons of oranges, and the only time he's ever protected it, I think, is in the ice storm we had last year, and he did wrap it and heat it during that week. But other than that, I think he's been able to keep it alive just as is with the shelter of the building. So Satsuma oranges are amazing. They taste great, and I'm so excited because these guys are going to be in about a month, so maybe a month and a half, they'll be a nice bright orange. So I'm excited about that. Oh, actually there's one right down there. Ooh. So we have the Satsumas. We also have our gourds still going, and they're actually starting to take off on our old swing set, which is fun. And there is one here that's pretty cool. It's that guy there. And I think he's a Haas Tools variety of a gourd. I can't remember what he's called, but he was a funny gourd. Now in this raised bed we have turnips. And we're growing the turnips mostly for the greens, but I also don't mind their roots. So I will take a couple out for the roots, but in the south, most people eat them for the greens. I don't have a great deal of interest in turnip roots, but I do enjoy myself making a great turnip root casserole. So I will for sure eat them. And I won't thin them out. I'll just keep pouring on the nutrients, some organic like fish emulsion, and keep them thriving and just keep plucking the leaves. Now in this jungly mess is some sweet potatoes, and these guys are actually not for fall growing but fall harvesting. So these guys are almost ready for us to be pulling them out. And these are so easy to grow. We have these guys in a pot, or grow bag. This one's in a pot and then that one's in a grow bag, and they just need a lot of space because they just take over like a weed. Super quick update for those that saw the banana video. Check out that banana. It's looking pretty good. I think it's liking the recent rain that we've had. And there's actually a few more we found hidden around. So we do have quite a few bananas. It's still going to be very interesting to see if they are edible. And I'm loving my zinnias. My zinnias have become part of my little red zone, and that's how I think I'm going to keep doing sections within my garden, in little red zones and purple zones and pink zones. And I'm loving the zinnias. They're just gorgeous. Like, look at that. So in addition to that, we have mustard spinach, kale, and collards also on the grow. We still have some stuff from last year growing, like I have okra, which I'm actually letting go to seed so I can save for next year. So I am done with the okra. I've dehydrated all that I want and frozen all that I want. And we have some eggplants still left, and they're looking lovely, and peppers. So lots of stuff that's still left. Now from a seeding perspective, I'm going to sit down and probably seed a few more things. I'm going to seed some Savoy cabbage, which I have yet to successfully grow out here. It does not like heat. And I have tried it in the winter and seemed to fail, but this year we're going to try again. Try and try again is my motto. And we're going to plant some onions. Now is the time of year for onions, so it's a really good time to seed them, and then you want to move them out into the garden in November, and I'll be planting short day onions for our region. So I think that's the most part of what we're going to have left. Like, oh, I'm always growing something, but celery. Celery is another one that I have to plant. We've grown celery in the past, and I love it. That's what I make our celery salt out of. We make our own homemade celery salt, and we do also have a video on that. But so celery is another one I have yet to plant today. So I think that's it, guys. That's what's on the grow for fall. If you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. And if you have any suggestions on what you think I should be growing this fall, let me know. Take care, guys. Be friendly. Be kind.